Hey everybody, welcome to Missima Motivation. Today we're going to talk about the 5 things that you need to know about therapists, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Missima Motivation. My name is Chris from Missima, and as always, I am here to hopefully teach you something about mental health and psychology. And today I want to talk a little bit about what you need to know about therapists. So the very first thing I'm going to touch on is we do not live in the office. Okay, as you can see here, I am wearing a tank. I am at the gym. I'm also a strength and conditioning coach, and I work out 5 or 6 days a week. We have lives outside of the office. Now, for some reason, I feel like there's difficulty when it comes to envisioning your therapist living their life outside of crossing their legs with a pen and a pad and saying, how's that make you feel? But just like you, we have a life outside of the office, and I do think it's actually really important for your care to know that because we are going to be bringing in stressful days to sessions sometimes. We are going to feel the things that you feel and take that home with us at times. And that impacts us. And so we are hopefully living a life that is an example to our clients. I like to tell my clients that our relationship should be the healthiest relationship you've ever had. But what that means is I have relationships outside of this relationship, and so do you. So you need to learn how to take the things from our relationship and apply them outside of session, just like I do. The second thing is we are a profession of wounded healers. So wounded healers are essentially people who went through some trial or tribulation typically growing up, and it led them to this profession. I've talked a lot about my story, and you can reference that on the YouTube channel as well, and all the things that I've gone through, but that is part of the reason why I got into this field to begin with, was to heal after being wounded myself. And so kind of keep that in mind. I'm not saying all therapists have gone through something traumatic or extremely difficult in their life or something unique, but at the same time, there's a good likelihood, good chance that your therapist or the person you may seek to hire has gone through something. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If they're at a place where they have found more peace and more balance in their life, that means what? That means you can too, right? So I think that's a value that they bring to session, assuming they're willing to speak to it and own it, and they've gone through their own work. The third thing is we have work-life boundaries. I have a 48-hour email rule. I try to get back to each of my emails in 48 hours, but I have other things outside of sessions, okay? And your therapists do too. So when they set a hard boundary with you, it's important to understand that they're doing that from a place of love, because just like your relationship with your therapist, outside of session, you need boundaries, okay? So we are looking to emulate what we want from you in your real life. And that means having a work-life balance. And no, I'm not going to respond to your email on Saturday. No, I'm not going to watch that hour-long YouTube video that you want me to watch. I'm not going to do that. If you want to talk about it during session, we can do that. But I have other people that I have to care for, and I have to live an example-type life outside of session, just like I'm going to ask you to do, right? So please keep in mind that therapists have a work-life balance just like everybody else. The fourth is we do way more than conduct sessions. Now, I actually have a YouTube video on this. Check it out on the channel where I break down what a therapist actually does. But we do way more than, hi, come sit down for 45 or 50 minutes and then adios. We have case notes, and we have billers, and we have insurance panels, and we have just all sorts of stuff, CEUs, and I could go on, watch that video if you're really interested. I'll go ahead and throw it in the description below. But we do way more than sit with you for your 45 or 50 minutes and then say, see you next week. We do way more of that for you. There's treatment planning, a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Keep that in mind, because your therapist is working behind the scenes for you, or at least they should be. The final thing I'll say is that those who are CCAP accredited, which is a national standardization for therapist programs, go to school for 7 years. And that's something you may not know about therapists. As we go, you have the 4-year undergrad and you have the 3-year grad program. The CCAP adds an extra year to it. This is important to note because after that, you have another 2 to 3 year internship if you're an LPC, or associate phase if you're an LMFT. So before you're fully licensed. So that's essentially the equivalent of a residency for a medical doctor, where you have to go through a period of time getting even more training and more experience before you're fully licensed. So you're looking at a 9 to 10 year process. So the next time you think of a therapist and say, oh, all they do is listen to what you have to say and then say how that makes you feel, think twice. We went to school for a really long time to do what we do, and those who took it very seriously know a lot more than just what you're going to read on Google or ask your friend about. Okay, there's a greater level of conceptualization and awareness and understanding, and I think that's important for you to know. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have a therapist, try to keep those things in mind. If you don't, but you're considering one, also try to keep those things in mind. I hope this was helpful for you, and as always, remember, mind, muscle, maximize.